Més de 100 espectacles i activitats. El grec s'estén per la ciutat. Torna el fauna de les nits d'estiu.
Hola, bon dia. Seguim amb aquestes presentacions de rodes de premsa de companyies internacionals i ara passarem a l'anglès, al mateix canal podeu marcar la traducció per sentir la roda de premsa en català. Passaré a l'anglès tot seguit. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Christos Papadopoulos, thanks for coming to Barcelona, thanks for being here. And we're going to talk about your work a bit, what you do, and you're going to present at Mercat de les Flors this weekend.
Thank you for having me. It's a big honor to be in this great festival, and it's a big honor to be back in Barcelona.
Yeah.
We love the city, the whole company. We're very excited and very happy.
What is happening in Greece with dance? Because there's a lot of talent right now. There's a lot of artists that we have seen at the Grec Festival, Dimitris Papaioannou, Euripides Laskaridis, Patricia Bergi, and some others. It seems to be like it's all of you with very different identities, no?
I don't know really what's happening in Greece. I think it's many elements coming together in this specific time frame. I think I dare to say sometimes a struggle and situation in a way helps in the process of creating, because in a way it's so hard to create and so hard to be an artist in Greece that in a way you need to be very specific and very concrete as you want to do it. So in a way it's connected with an element of bravery in the system, because otherwise if it's like a hobby or it's not very vital, you will not do it. So in a way we are forced and we are trained to work hard apart from talent and
Sí, Grècia, crec que és una societat prou contradictòria. D'alguna manera, la realitat no és fàcil. Crec que això es reflexa en el treball que fem. Crec que pot ser una coincidència també en el sentit que bé, la curació, la cura que es té per les obres doncs han dut molta llum també a Grècia, però malgrat tot diria que estem lluny de les fronteres, estem una mica aïllats, són totes aquestes coses alhora. Ara estem parlant d'una cosa que admiro de la teva feina, hem vist Opus a la sala Hiroshima fa molt de temps, potser fa 4 o 5 anys. Era un petit treball, ens hem perdut algunes obres mentrestant i ara vens amb aquesta gran obra. El que admiro de tu és que has estat sempre molt persistent i coherent amb el teu propi idioma, i el que fas és molt diferent del que fan d'altres coreògrafs grecs. Sempre estàs a la recerca del teu propi material i cada obra és com un pas endavant. Aquesta idea la tenies clara des del començament o això doncs tu has anat trobant? Crec que això ve des del vell Antubi amb Elvadon. Al començament de la feina vaig començar amb la coreografia i els moviments, però molt ràpidament em vaig adonar que això no m'interessava. Em vaig veure veient els moviments i la dansa. I jo no vull veure la dansa, vull veure els éssers humans que exploren, que d'alguna manera duen la seva imaginació a l'escenari. I en aquest sentit sempre tractava de trobar què és aquest moviment en aquest llenguatge corporal que pot donar suport als nostres ulls, a la nostra visió, a la història, i sense ser la història. Per tant, el que vull és disminuir, donar menys importància al moviment per trobar la humanitat, almenys en el meu cap. Aquests esforços de creació han conduït a aquests moviments minimalistes. Sí, moviments minimalistes tenies també una visió de grup, hi ha una construcció de grup quan a les evolucions que creen un tipus de forma. Hi ha també un tipus d'energia amb petites variacions que fan grans canvis. Aquesta és una constant en la teva feina. Sí, és una constant perquè quan començo a treballar amb un grup me n'adono que el que és preciós és estar junts a l'escenari. Estar junts vol dir, pot ser una decisió molt fàcil. Fem un moviment, un o tots, i ens sincronitzem. Però no és quelcom que m'interessi massa. Això pot estar molt a prop de l'exèrcit, estan junts, però són formes que no m'interessen en absolut. I per tant volia veure com podíem estar tots a l'escenari creant aquesta comunicació constant. Que qualsevol variació d'un individu pot afectar a tot el grup, i això passa a 10 persones al mateix temps vol dir que la informació que s'estan transmetent en el grup són tantes que el grup sempre s'ha d'anar ajustant, i d'alguna manera és molt bonic, però és una tortura també per ells poder incloure, recordar les passes i incloure totes aquestes petites variacions que tenen lloc en aquest moment precís. Per tant, és una lluita, però que ens porta una necessitat. És com aquesta cola que hi ha en l'escenari, en l'espai. Entenem aquest moviment si diem que sí, tots alhora això pot succeir. Per tant, tot dependrà dels uns i els altres. Per una banda, per tant, el teu moviment és abstracte, però el tema que utilitzes és molt humà. Parla'ns una mica de Larsen C i com això té una influència en la construcció de la teva coreografia. Et diré el que pensava de Larsen C. Normalment no parteixo d'idees filosòfiques, però de petites impressions que tinc. Estava conduint amb el cotxe al bosc i estava escoltant música clàssica, i amb el bosc i la música tenia la impressió que estava en un lloc a Viena, als Alps, al nord d'Europa. I vaig canviar de música i vaig començar a escoltar música folk grega, i vaig notar que estava a Grècia i que anava a casa del meu avi per unes vacances a la Setmana Santa. Tota la meva percepció va canviar dràsticament i em vaig adonar com canviem constantment durant el dia. La llum canvia, no ens n'adonem, però emocionalment, i la nostra energia com a la tarda és molt diferent de la que tenim al dematí o al vespre, i per tant aquesta llum ens canvia i ens transforma. Vaig començar a pensar, per tant, com aquest canvi de percepció, com el podem aplicar al cos, aquestes conviccions en el cos, en el sentit que si canviem alguna cosa, la nostra percepció del cos canviarà. Per tant, a vegades seiem així durant temps i se'ns adorm la cama i no podem moure'ns. I sabem que passarà moltes vegades, però cada vegada que passa és una gran sorpresa. És com, vaja, se m'ha quedat adormida la cama i no la puc moure. I per tant, aquest canvi del que és meu, el que és el meu cos i el que és aquest sistema complex que estic utilitzant per controlar-ho, què passa si no el puc controlar? Com puc canviar aquest joc en el cos, trencar aquesta forma eficient en què es mou el cos? És un joc, canviar la tensió en el cos. Pensar, per exemple, què passa si tingués un cervell en el genoll, com puc controlar-ho, com podria controlar-lo o quina seria aquesta nova realitat. I aquest és el joc. I vaig començar jugant amb el mateix llum, amb el mateix joc, amb la llum. Podem educar al començament de la performance que la llum està aquí per suportar, per apoyar l'acció. I en un moment donat, de cop, la llum talla als cossos i de sobte veus gent que no té cap, o com el sentit pot suggerir, el so pot suggerir que estem en un entorn seriós i hi ha un petit canvi de so. Podem pensar que és molt ridícul o molt abstracte o molt divertit o específic. Sempre estic jugant amb aquesta idea de canviar lleugerament l'atenció cap a una altra cosa. No hi ha massa lloc a la improvisació en la teva obra, per tant. Sí, sí que n'hi ha, sí. Al final, començo amb algunes limitacions per entendre del que vull parlar. En primer lloc, jo mateix a l'estudi, 2 mesos abans que arribin els ballarins, doncs jo estic a l'estudi, vull entendre quina és l'essència del moviment, quins són els principis en aquest nou entorn, què vol dir la gravitat o la respiració, com puc canviar aquestes lleis bàsiques. I quan venen els ballarins puc saber-ho ja més o menys i per tant els bombardejo amb coneixements, amb nos també, per limitar els moviments i potser sufocant una mica per ells i els encurset una mica perquè sembla que no poden fer res, però quan acaben entenent aquesta essència i la lògica que hi ha al darrere, no tant el moviment en si, sinó el que està passant allí. Aquest espai es fa cada vegada més gran i entenem que dins aquests límits pot ser un espai molt gran. Un espai que dona lloc a la improvisació. Agafen aquest espai per improvisar i donen molt de material i fan que jo evolucioni també, perquè jo m'obsessiono molt i estic molt segur del que es tracta, però és en aquests moments en què entenen aquests balls, em retornen un material i puc entendre moltes més dimensions i per tant contribueixen molt i improvisen molt. En els límits hi ha llibertat. Sí, està clar, si haguéssim d'improvisar sense limitacions, sense límits, no sabria què fer. I per tant, al mateix temps és molt divertit tenir un espai molt específic i limitat per jugar-hi. Deixem-lo descriure l'espectacle pels periodistes i després.
A call description for the journalist, and now we're going for questions. Co-producers, something about what is, or maybe whatever you want to tell us about
Yes, so we are 6 dancers on stage. In the process we were 7 dancers, so we have 1 free dancer to substitute. So with Γιώργος Κοτσιφάκης, Ιωάννα Παρασκευοπούλου, Αντώνης Βαΐς, Μαρία Μπρέγιανη, Αλέξανδρος Βαρελάς.
Greeks, all of them, no?
All of them the Greek gang. The design is designed by Cleo Boboti. The music is from Yorgos Poulios. And the lights by Elisa Alexandropoulou.
Beautiful, by the way.
They're all amazing. And I had the luxury to have them in the studio, in the space, in the rehearsals constantly.
You see that, right? Because the light is very much part of the piece. It's very important for the piece.
For 2 months, we were there every day with some lights, not like theatrical many, but we were able to...
And in your tour, now I know you went now to Holland Festival.
Yes,
JULIOL Dance.
Yes.
And which other festivals? You've been to...
We were in Teatro de la Ville, in Bes, we were in Festival d'Otoño, in Roma Europa, in Le Halles d'Escarbec in Brussels.
So quite a nice tour.
Very nice tour. We're very privileged and very happy about it. And my tour manager is Koen van Hoven, we're collaborating with. And the production, the tour production is made by my beloved sister, actually, and tour manager, it's a family business, Kostadina Papadopoulou.
Okay. Well, now it's moment. Whenever you want, you can ask questions. Marisa.
maybe you can explain how is the scene and why is so special the light? How, I mean, what people is going to see in the stage, and why is the light so special, as you were speaking?
I don't want to say what the people will see. I want to say why because it's the first idea is that for me the performance itself it's structured on a game of proximity. You don't really see it, but my subcontext is that as if you see something from very, very close, and you see an abyss of darkness, a lake of nothingness. And then there are these small elements emerging from the deep that you see very, very small glimpses of some actions. Before they start like researching the space, researching their body, knowing nothing, knowing like the boundaries and the limits of this world I want to create are not defined yet, so it's limitless. So the lights are coming to give light in very small arises and in a way, how can I say it? Arises from the deep that you need to see something, a glimpse of it, and then go back to the darkness. So my idea is that in the beginning of the performance, even like 25 first minutes of the performance, you don't really know if it's a big space, it's a small space, if it is like 3 dancers, 15 dancers, that in a way you are losing track of what is happening in front. So if the light would expose the space or expose more actions, you would see everything. So in a way it's very subtle and very small and very specific and very short.
And very hypnotic.
And very?
Hypnotic.
Yes, and very hypnotic. So in order to do this, we needed to really, I needed to work with the light as a choreography. That it needs to be 5 seconds with this speed, with this intensity, go away very fast because something else should come. So it was very rhythmical also and very, very easy to expose. So it was a very hard process, but a very nice one.
And it's very interesting that even though you are using the idea of the iceberg and the climate change, you don't want to make a statement of that.
No, because actually the iceberg came later in the process. I had this idea about the perception, and then I found myself in the studio with the dancers. I was always talking to them about the iceberg, that in the sea we see only the tip of the iceberg, and beneath there is this huge volume of ice that we don't see. So I was saying to the dancers, trying to stimulate them, what if the movement inside is huge, it's very big, but what is coming to the surface, to the skin, it's only a very small glimpse of what is really happening internal. Like internal it's a huge avalanche, but what we see it's a very small extract from that. So I was stimulating with the eyes, or how the eyes keeps on transforming. And then I said, okay, the ice is coming in the process more and more and more. And what's happening with all this, also what happened with Larsen C, that was this huge volume of this desert of ice that we've been always thinking that this will be there forever. It's for sure, it's a conviction. And then all of a sudden, 2017, it cracked. And this small crack created a huge impact to the, of course it created a huge impact to the community, to the whole world. So in a way, it was a small crack creating this huge alert. So in a way, it was all this element coming together in this idea. So by giving the title, I didn't want to bring a title that is, in a way, a mental process, but I wanted to reflect a tool that was functional in the process. It was this imagination was a real functional tool. So that's why I gave Larsen C.
Name it.
So it was not the original idea.
Allà també té una pregunta.
So even though you said you don't want to make a statement of the climate change, you're talking about 3 icebergs, and will we see like the dancers being like representing the icebergs, these 3 icebergs, or it will be more like unification, like not them being separated, but like coming together?
you will see an imagination and a world created by these elements. For me, you will not see anything. If you expect to see something, you will not see anything. But there are many people coming and they tell me it was like an ice. It was not my intention. I feel that the outcome, in a way, the flavor of the outcome has elements because we worked this way, but you will not see anything from that.
But maybe apparently the movements are very cold, apparently.
In a way, yes.
In a way.
There is also a polar sun that is coming in the States that it never gets hot and on the sky, but like in the Arctic, the sun is going there and going down again. So there are many elements coming from this universe. But in a way, I would suggest to keep your imagination free, to imagine whatever you want. You might imagine that you see a desert, Sahara. So, because the expectations sometimes, or if you preoccupy your mind of what you will see really, can in a way sometimes make you too much rational while seeing something.
It's dance, right?
Eh?
It's dance.
It's dance. It's just dance.
And I don't know if you've thought about this, but because you're talking about perception, have you thought about the Gestalt, like the German school, philosophy school? The Gestalt?
Yes.
Have you thought about that in this
No.
creative process?
To be honest, no.
Maybe I thought it might be related.
No. For me, it was, in a way, I find very interesting for me to be in the process. I find it more liberating and it gives me more vibrant tools, in a way to be stimulated by life and our real impressions out there. Sometimes when I get, for example, when I see paintings or sometimes music or philosophy that I'm reading, I get many inputs, but sometimes I feel that I'm getting disconnected with a vital impression that we all experience as human beings out there in nature. So in a way, I'm trying to keep it real in a way, to bring this impression that is, in a way, it's raw and it's not really, put in context.
Si hi ha alguna pregunta online, Guillem, ens ho dius també.
Okay, I have two questions. First, I didn't understand if you went there, if you actually went to the... Okay. And the second, it's maybe a bit naive, but I want to know from yourself, what is dance for you?
Don't ask this question to me,
De cara a la pared.
I don't really know, really. I don't really know. For me, first of all, the first, if I have to be honest, is dance is fun. So I feel very happy when I move. And then what I can say, in a way, it's a poetry. It's a poetry on skin, with skin. In a way, it's, if you would put in poetry and this some skin and matter, you would have dance. This is my imagination that I have. But yeah, for me, it's the capacity of the body to transfer meanings that they're so abstract and big that you cannot really understand. For example, I will tell you something. Sometimes they're coming, because it's not a sentimental performance, Larsen C. So sometimes they're coming, one of the best feedback I have, reactions, it's when people are coming and they've been crying, and they say, I don't know why I cried. I don't know, there's a center inside moved. It's not sentiment, it's not emotion, it's not this, but there is a center moved inside, and I start crying, and I don't know why. So these vague, untold areas that they are being stimulated with dance, I think also defines what it is, why we get emotional with dance. So somehow it's kind of untold. I don't know if I answered really, yeah.
And also, this minimalism of yours, it's coming from the movement, it's coming from architecture? It's coming from visual arts?
The minimal choice.
Yeah.
For sure, it's not coming from an aesthetic point of view. It's not that I like minimalism. I even oppose when they call me a minimalist choreographer, because for me, I don't. My tendency to diminish the volume of the movement is in order to understand what the eyes are narrating. So if I tell you hello, you will see the hands, and you might not say, he didn't really say hello to me. But if I say hello, and in a way the movement is here to support what I want to communicate with you, you will say, he was honest, or he really told me hello. So in a way, when I'm trying to find this small, trying to, in my perception, to find this reality that you feel that these creatures on stage are real and honest, I need to diminish all the rest in order to communicate with this. So it's a result, what I do at the end, and not a pre-selection that applies to aesthetic elements.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any, demand when it comes to an open space, very huge, that maybe the perception it would be not the same from the public, from the audience? Would you do the same on El Teatre Grec?
Outdoors. Without the light, you mean, with another type of light?
Sometimes I feel that it's like my experiment, Larsen C. Sometimes it's funny that you ask it. A very small change, it has a huge impact. For example, I've been for 20 years, actually, 15 years, I've been working with the National Theatre of Greece in the Epidaurus Theatre. Mm-hmm. That is a huge amphitheatre from the 5th century BC, and it's like for 14,000 people. It's huge. You still need to work in the detail and in honesty, because the big volume and the big shape also should be defined by something that can be also very tender and small. And sometimes with my dancers in a very big stage, when I tell them, okay, it's a big amphitheater what we're doing, try to, from here, try to open the vision and zoom out and see the whole space. So these small shifts creates a very big impact on what is happening. So I wouldn't really change, but I think if the perception of the performers is there to include the volume, they will become bigger as well. So, yeah.
Do you have plans to choreograph for companies, like that not with your dancers, but companies that are like repertory?
I would always say no, because I was afraid to work without my company. But I decided to make this step. So next year I will create a new piece for Danzon. It's a German company based in Berlin. And then in the winter, and then in the summer, I will create a new piece for Opera de Lyon in France. So I will work with many people, ballet-oriented, but amazing dancers. I'm very excited and very happy about it, and very scared at the same time.
Interesting. If you have any chance to see other choreographers, which do you prefer? Which is this that you don't want to miss?
I don't want to miss Maggie Maren. I love her work. I love her work very much. She's my inspiration, and has been my inspiration before I start working.
Umwelt is a fantastic piece, maybe connected to your work.
Of course. I will not only say choreographers. I love this. Now I'm stuck. Bellatar. This film director, like the Horse of Turin, Torino's Horse. For me, the way of narrating, the time that he's taking, the way that creates through this vast amount of time, seeing the same thing actually, it creates this dense and thick and full of meaning reality. For me, it really influences the way that I see art and I see my work. So, or in music, all the Steve Reich, of course, all this minimalist wave has influenced me. In painting, I love pointillism. Pointillism is when you are painting with dots. So in a way, you have all the colors everywhere, but the sea, it's more blue dots, and the boat is more brown dots, and the white fabric is more white dots. So in a way, the fact that the information is everywhere, but the amount changes, but at the end, if you zoom out, you see the image. For me, it's very brilliant. It's such a beautiful work, and it's a very brilliant tool in my work, how we can, at the same time, we have all the information, but we're aiming towards somewhere. So the decisions are not black or white, we are navigating in the space in between.
Can you tell us where do you live?
I live in Athens, in Greece, yes.
So congratulations.
Thank you very much, and I live in a very dodgy, in the most dodgy place of the center of Athens. So around it's a very nice house, but you know, we have the homeless people around, the junkies. I'm in the middle of the junkie area. It's very hard, but at the same time, I feel, before I was living in a very touristic part of Athens, and after 5 years living there, I start feeling that hearing all what is happening in the city and all the protests, I found myself thinking that, come on, they exaggerate. And I felt that I'm living in a very clean area and a very privileged. And somehow I didn't really like it. Everyday life was great and the place was great, but now that I'm living in a part of city that in a way is torturing me, but every day when I go out, I'm in touch with something real and ugly. It's not that I like to be in an ugly area, but in a way it keeps me grounded of what's really happening in this world. I'm a bit tired of it now after 6 years, but I appreciate it.
Good. What else? ¿Alguna pregunta, Guillem? Any question online? No? Well, we're very looking forward to see the work. Now everybody's excited about it. No? Ya está. Well, thank you. We know you have a lot to do, so...
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Thank you.